responsibility of the platforms to conduct the fact-checking. Why is there a need for a third party?
If accountability is now placed in the platforms, then there wouldn't be a need for a platform. In the United States, they removed all the fact checkers already. I think here in the Philippines, I'm not sure kung gumagana pa ba or tinanggal na rin nila. I think last January, they also removed some of their fact checkers. Why do you need a fact checker? Dapat ang accountable boss yung, Your Honor, yung mga platforms. Kasi why would you allow them to be in your platform if you know already that these are fake news? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, kasi yung pong magkakaroon po tayo ng sitwasyon na baka magkaiba-iba rin yung resulta ng fact-checking kung napakarami ng mga fact-checkers po natin. Di po ba?
Tama po yun.
Yes. So that we can pinpoint responsibility talaga.
Exactly.
Thank you. Anyway, pwede po bang matanong ko uli kayo ng ibang katanungan para sa pagbalangkas namin sa magiging batas tungkol dito sa fake news? Sa inyong obserbasyon at pag-aaral, anong mga hakbang ang dapat gawin ng mga social media platforms para ma-ensure na hindi inaabuso ng mga users nila ang mga platforms to spread misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation?
Una po ang kailangan, media and information literacy. Tapos pagka sa kanila mismo, pag nasabihan na po sila na sa amin, ito, flag namin to, fake news to, galing to sa isang government agency, department, agad-agad dapat i-take down. Hindi pa pwede na para ka nagmamakaawa sa kanila para i-take down yung post na alam naman ng lahat na fake news na. Bakit nyo pinapabayaan na ma-viral pa yan? Halatang-halata naman, alam naman na ng lahat. Sinabi na namin, fake news to. Do we need to defend ourselves and tell them, we already said in the press, fake news yan. And yet, kumakalat pa rin ng kumakalat. Ang masakit po dito, pag ganito ang magiging sitwasyon, we will now have a generation of Filipinos na parati pong nag-aaway kasi nga, napopolarize eh. Either nasa kaliwa ka o nasa kabila ka, kung ano man ang, kung saan ka man nakataya. So, parati na lang po nag-aaway yung ating lipunan. Kung hindi natin nire-regulate, sabi nga po nung isang kausap naming Minister ng Information, magiging wild. Dahil walang nag-check eh. So, wild yung communication at yung nakukuha po ng taong bayan na information is kung araw-araw maling impormasyon, negatibong impormasyon, imagine how it will pollute the next gen or maybe the present generation of Filipinos. Kasi ito yung pumapasok sa utak ng tao. Araw-araw po yan. Katulad na lang ng isang bata. Pag araw-araw negatibo ang kanyang naririnig, nakikita, away ng away. Anong mangyayari sa batang yon pag lumalaki na?
I agree, Mr. Secretary, dahil nababasa naman po natin na yung impact ng fake news would lead to misinformation, leading to misinformed opinions. And the other effect is that it would come up with social divisions. Kagaya ng sabi nyo, magkakaroon po ng polarizations. I agree with you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Secretary. Next, much has been said that the platforms also conduct their fact-checking according to their answers to the questions that we have propounded. Pero na-mention din sa last hearing yung phrase na fact-tagging to combat the spread of fake news. Sa tingin niyo po ba effective ito?
Hindi gaano, sir eh. Dapat, kasi yung mismong, mas mabilis magpakalat, So kahit pina-fact check mo na, magkakaroon pa rin ng doubt yung mga tao. Lalong-lalo na nga dahil nasira na yung credibility mo. Sinasabi mo na lang, kinag mo na fake news. Sasabihin na naman, how can we now tell na fake news talaga, ay na hindi talaga fake news yun? Kasi nawalan na ng credibility dahil nga sa napakaraming kasinungalingan. Libo na yung kasinungalingan, milyon na yung kasinungalingan. Ikaw, nag-iisang nagsasabi na ito yung katotohanan, lunod na lunod yung katotohanan na, hindi na lumalabas. Ang pinaniniwalaan na ng tao, yung fake news.
Kung ganun po, Mr. Secretary, naniniwala po kayo na the best way to regulate the spread of fake news is through government regulation.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Would it not be better na hayaan natin ang mga social media platforms to self-regulate?
Hindi pwede, kasi nga yun nga po nangyari ngayon. Supposedly may self-regulation. On their community standards. Sila po ang nagbigay ng standards. It has to be the government who should give those standards. Tayo ang may responsibilidad. They say we have to, it's a right, free information, a right to information. But that right comes with accurate information. Kasi nungalingan ang pinapakalat nila. So dapat, doon pa lang, ang platform should be accountable. Ikaw ang nagpakalat ng fake news. Kayo. Hindi nyo nilinis Tulad ng in radio, for example. Minsan lang nagkamali yung reporter. Minsan lang. Agad suspendido yon. O kaya tanggal. Hindi pinayagan ng radio station. Ibig sabihin, may standards. Yung KBP, may MTRCB silang sinusundan. Dito, walang sinusunod. Standards nila. Bakit sila ang napaka-importante ng information sa ating buhay? Actually, ang mandate ng Presidential Communications Office is relevant, timely, and accurate information. If you cannot provide that, that will continue to destroy our institutions. Not just institutions, but tao. Tao ang sinisira ng fake news. Nilalason ng ating mga kabataan, whether seniors ka o bata ka, nalalason ng utak mo. Sasabihin sa inyo, ito kahit kasinungalingan, napapaniwalaan ng tao.
Mr. Chair, the Secretary of the ICT.
Yeah, go ahead.
raising his hand.
Secretary Guday, you are recognized.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Dagdagan ko lang po yung sinabi ni Secretary Jay, kung mas maganda may batas. Yung nabanggit ni Sec Jay na community standards, kanila lang po yun nagsa-self-regulate sila. Hindi rin nila sinusunod We're not asking for special treatment in the Philippines. We just want them to fairly implement their standards. Hindi po patas yung pagkaka-implement nila ng standards. So kung sila magsa-self-regulate, medyo malabo. Second, hindi na po natin hinihingi, lalo na kay Meta, gumawa ng bagong bagay. Ginawa na po nila yan ng 2018. Noong 2018, nagsalita si Mark Zuckerberg, hindi sapat yung ginawa ni Facebook para protektahan yung mga tao. So, naglagay po sila dito ng content moderation team. Nagulat na lang kami, tinanggal nila So, nagawa na nila before. Panghuli na lang po, pag tinanong nyo po lahat ng mga platform ngayon, hihingi sila ng batas Nung nakausap ko sila kahapon, sabi, ano ba yung solusyon? Pag tinanong nyo pala sila ngayon, sasabihin nila, they need regulation. They want the government to put up a law to regulate them. So sila mismo, gusto nilang ma-regulate mismo Yun lang po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Ito po yung issue ngayon if you're proposing government regulation, we have to strike a balance between government regulation and freedom of expression. Di po ba? So, kung gobyerno ang magre-regulate, paano natin masisiguro na ang regulasyon na ito ay hindi magagamit upang patahimikin ang oposisyon o mga critical na pananaw?
Man yun, walang problema eh. Kung,
Please refrain from clapping or anything in that kind, no?
kung opinion naman po, sorry.
Otherwise, we'll be asking you to leave these premises. Go ahead, Secretary Ruiz.
Sir, if it's just an opinion, it's not fake news, there's no lie, it's okay. That's free. I mean, it's a freedom of expression. Just like TV, you have your opinions. Okay lang po yun. Opinion yun eh. But once it's proven that it's already a lie, they have to be accountable for that. Just like what they do in Singapore. Ang sabi po nung minister nila, una, ifa-flag ka muna. Eh, sasabihan ka, oh, parang may sinasabi na mag-ingat po kayo sa post na to dahil mali or may misinformation. First, second, hanggang tatlo. Pag hindi mo pa binabayan on the third, what do you call that? Na sinabihan ka na, meron ng po penalty po yun. Tapos ang nangyayari po, they divert you to the right information on that same page. So ganun ang ginagawa po sa Singapore. Sa European services naman, 6% of profit nila tanggal. Pag napatunayan na ikaw ay purveyor ng fake news. Ang binibigyan nilang responsibilidad sa ibang... Ito nga nakakatawa, Your Honor eh. Sa ibang bansa, pumapayag silang magpa-regulate. The question is, why not in our country? For movies, television, radio, we regulate them. We have the MTRCB. Meron tayong KBP. Dito sa atin, wala. Walang isip. Dito nga po, ang nangyayari, akala natin, vloggers, pero paisa-isa lang po yun eh. So dapat, yung platform mismo ang maglinis ng mga lumalabas sa kanilang social media platforms. Sila po ang may responsibility niyan. Or
Thank you.
else, may penalties sa platform, hindi sa tao.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Now, is there anybody from or any resource person present today that would advocate that the social media platforms would regulate themselves? Is there anybody? Any resource person who would advocate?
The guy wearing a...
From KBP, Your Honor.
Can you please state your name and then you are recognized?
Attorney Rudolph Steve Hularbal from the
From?
KBP.
From?
KBP, Your Honor.
Now you are recognized, please.
Your Honor, the KBP has been an advocate of self-regulation. And we believe a gun, it is not the gun that is to be regulated, it is the person who wields and uses the gun. So, social media journalists, responsible journalists, or commonly called bloggers, should be allowed to self-regulate, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, may I ask a question from the resource person? Mr. Chair, may I proceed?
Yes, go ahead, Chairman Ako, please.
Yung pong nag-advocate ng self-regulation, pakisagot lang po ito. Kung hayaan po natin na ang social media platforms to regulate themselves, paano po naman masisiguro na hindi ito gagamitin upang kontrolin ang narrative para sa kanilang sariling interest?
Your Honor, there are laws that penalize fake news or disinformation and misinformation.
There are laws.
There are laws, libel laws. For example, Your Honor, cyber libel as well as under the penal code. The difference is the prior restraint, Your Honor.
Cybercrime libel is not under the revised penal code. It is special law.
I'm sorry.
As a matter of
yes,
fact,
Your Honor.
kasama nga ako na author nun eh.
Yes, Your Honor. I stand corrected. I'm sorry. My point, Your Honor, is in determining whether a news is fake or disinformation or misinformation, it should go through a process. Censorship should not be allowed or prior restraint However, this does not preclude being penalized should one commit a crime.
Hindi naman po yun ang kasagutan dun sa aking katanungan. Ang katanungan ko po is, paano po naman masisiguro na hindi ito gagamitin upang kontrolin ang narrative para sa kanilang sariling interest? In the same manner that I threw a different question to those proponents
Na hindi gagamitin para sa personal na agenda, then let's put stiff penalties for violation, Your Honor.
Okay. So there's a need for a law.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Secretary Ruiz, pwede po ba makuha ko yung inyong opinion? Doon po sa sistema ng pag-fact check, paano ba natin matutukoy na ang isang impormasyon o balita ay dangerous o harmful content na dapat i-take down? Sa tingin niyo po ba dapat i-adapt or institutionalize ang standard na ito sa ating mga batas? At bakit po?
Po ay nakakasakit at nakakalason sa itong fake news sa taong bayan, tulad na lang nung isang post dati na nagsasabing ang Palawan ay parte ng bansang China. Siyempre, alam naman natin yung factual truths at hindi. Pag yung post na yon hindi mo pa binababa, sinabihan ka na niya, sinabihan na ng isang government agency na certified na fake news to, dapat agad-agad in 30 minutes or an hour, maibaba na po yung post na yon. Hindi yung nangyayari na ngayon, it will take days, it will take weeks bago maibaba yon. Nalalaso na. Tulad na lang nung nangyari. Sabi ng anak ko, Dad, is it true? They say on TikTok that Palawan is not part of the Philippines anymore. It's already owned by China. And I said, of course not. Who said that? Because people now, the young ones, get their news from TikTok, from social media. And even my son almost believed that Palawan is now part of China. And I have to correct him several times. Even if I already told him, many times, naniniwala pa rin kahit mali. Lalong-lalo na pagbata. Medyo delikado. Kasi nga, yung ganong pananaw, nadidemoralize ka ng labanan, yung katotohanan. Kasi nga, ganon na yung impression ng maraming tao eh. So, imbes na paniwala ng katotohanan, pinaniniwalaan yung kasinungalingan.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Chairman, that would be all as far as this representation is concerned.
Thank you so much,
Mr. Chairman, just-
Acopa. Before the chair recognize Chairman Barbers, the good secretary will be leaving in a while. So if the members of this committee have some question regarding issues with the secretary, you can ask him some question. So the chair would like to recognize first Congressman Barbers and then Congressman Manuel regarding the issue with Secretary Agudo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With the indulgence of Congressman Manuel, gusto ko lang pong tanungin si Secretary Aguda. Meron bang kapangyarihan ang DICT to take down any platform? Meron ba tayong ganong kapangyarihan?
Right now, Mr. Chair, unfortunately, wala.
Kasi
We
kung
just-
hindi sila sumusunod sa ating regulasyon, hindi sila sumusunod sa ating mga batas, ba't hindi natin sila i-take down? I'm just toying with the idea of them violating yung ating mga batas. Hindi po ba? Halimbawa, yung isang social media platform ay ginamit para sa isang paninirang puri, no? And then later on, nagkaroon ng fact check, sinabi kunyari ng Rappler o ng ABS-CBN na fake news yan. yung mga actors dun sa gumagamit ng social media platform, hindi naman kinokorek yung kanilang post. Pinababayaan din nila. So, ibig sabihin, they were just out there to either defame you or maybe destroy your personality. Yun naman ho yung ano eh. So, dapat siguro tingnan din natin na unang-una, wala naman silang contract. Itong mga social media platforms, according to them, wala naman silang contractual relationship sa atin. Kasi sabi nga nila, wala nga kaming opisina dyan sa Pilipinas eh. So, kung ganun, ba't kayo pumapayag na gamitin kayo para sa paninira, di ba? So perhaps in the crafting of our committee report, no, when we say regulation, tingnan din po natin yon. I don't know, Mr. Secretary, kung kayo ba ay sang-ayon sa puntong ni-raise ko.
Go ahead, Secretary Aguda.
Mr. Chair, that's specifically the support we need from Congress. Kasi ngayon, hindi malinaw. Wala talaga. Yung sa legal study po namin, walang eksaktong batas na will allow us to take it down. Kami, NTC, NPC, or CICC. So ang nangyayari po sa amin, nakikipag-coordinate kami and 75 days na po ako dito. Siguro naka-4 na sulat na ako sa, puro lang kami sulat at saka meeting eh. So makakatulong po yung ginagawa ng TRICOM, and if you can craft a law that provides us specifically that authority.
So, Mr. Secretary Aguda, in a simple words, no? Parang binobola lang tayo ng mga platforms. Ganun ba yan? Kasi sinasabi nila, take down nila, madali nilang yung mga report natin.
Yeah,
Pero hindi naman nila ginagawa.
Mr. Chair, to be fair, meron naman during last election, may mga 1,600 na na-take down. Ano po yon? Yung mga ginawa naman nila. Pero may mga bagay-bagay ba na kailangan pa ba natin pag-awayan para i-take down? And isa po, i-highlight ko lang kung bakit kailangan mabilis. Kasi yung mga platform nagkakaroon ng cross-pollination eh. So mahuli ka lang ng mga 5 minutes sa Meta, nakalipat na siya sa TikTok, nakalipat na siya sa... Ang hirap eh. So, kahit na 5 minutes lang yon, viral na. Kung hindi man mag-viral do sa platform na yon, nakalipat na sa... Hindi pa natin napag-usapan yung Viber, yung WhatsApp. Kumakalat ka agad eh, mabilis.
A while ago, you were saying, hindi lang ako nagtanong kasi nga I'm allowing the members to ask question. But meron kasi akong question dun sa sinabi mo kanina about doon sa streamline of other, I don't know if streamline ng platform that they can block it right away. Can you clarify something on this or explore mo yun? Kasi medyo gusto ko lang maintindihan din ng taong bayan na merong ganong klaseng abilidad or kapabilidad ang isang platform na i-take down right away. Di ba? Gaano kabilis yung pagte-take down na yun?
Mr. Chair, yung nabanggit ko, streaming platform. Yan
Streaming
yung mga
platform.
YouTube, for example, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Mabilis po yon. Pagka sa algorithm nila, tinitignan nila yung mga nasasabing salita. Tapos take down kaagad. Meron din silang visualization. Pag pangit yung... Pagka dapat i-take down ng porn, mati-take down nila. Mabilis po yun. Yun yung hinihingi natin na gawin nila. Ang sinasabi lang sa amin kasi ng mga platform, kailangan daw i-define sa batas ano ibig sabihin ng fake news. Pag malinaw daw yung definition ng fake news sa batas, iproprogram nila yung sistema nila na immediately mati-take down. So, parang hinihingi nila yung definition mismo.
But I think yung sa Google, nandito yun sa Google, no? Ang question natin sa Google, do you have the authority to answer on the query of this committee regarding sa mga takedowns? Kasi I think you're not the right person, no, to decide doon sa mga content na dapat pong alisin. Do you have that kind of authority? Or somebody in the Philippines, connected with Google or your platform na magde-decide sa takedowns? Meron bang tao na taga sa inyo na nandito sa Pilipinas?
Mr. Chair, meron po mga batas sa
No,
Pilipinas.
I'm asking kung merong personality or tao na magde-decide doon sa mga kino-complain nila ng ating ng government or any other entity, di ba? Pag sinabi nila na ito ay fake news, tapos ni-report sa inyo, who is the person in authority to answer on that takedown? Sino?
So Mr. Chair, magbigay lang po ako ng example. So meron po tayong bagong pasa na Internet Transactions Act. Sa batas po na yon, ang mga platforms po ay nire-require to take down content upon the order of the DTI. Ito po yung sa mga commercial content po. So yung mga advertisements or yung mga produkto po. So pag yung DTI po sinabi na i-take down itong counterfeit product, tinitake down, kino-comply po ni Google yon. Same din po tayo sa anti-trafficking in persons na kapag yung content po ay defined as trafficking content, iti-take down din po ni Google yon. Same din po tayo sa expanded online sexual abuse and exploitation of children. Yun po, madaling matanggal yon at nagko-comply po si Google doon sa batas na yon. So, kung meron pong malinaw na batas na nagde-define sa obligasyon po ng mga platforms, including po yung due process requirement, including po yung turnaround times, including po yung mekanismo, yung mga responsibilities po ng platform, nagko-comply po at magko-comply po si Google.
Okay. In other words, yung mga complaints ni Secretary Ruiz, ni Secretary ng DICT, ni Aguda, cannot be complied with by your platform. Precisely, wala pang batas na umiiral. Is that what you're trying to tell this committee?
Hindi po, Mr. Chair. So meron po, sa mga
Kasi parang
escalations po,
nabanggit mo mga batas, doon lang kayo nagko-comply doon sa mga takedowns. Unfortunately, wala pang umiiral na batas regarding to the complaints that being lodged by these agencies. So in other words, talagang hindi kayo magko-comply doon sa mga request nila. Correct?
Mr. Chair, especially
No,
during...
answer me first, no? Kung tama yung assumption namin that dahil wala po silang batas na pinagbabasihan pa doon sa takedowns, so you will not take it down. Tama, mali?
Mr. Chair, yung mga escalations po galing sa CICC...
I want to hear a direct answer. Tama ba yung aming assumption that since itong mga agencies natin like sa PCO and the DICT nagko-complain sa inyo and hindi sila nakakakuha ng mga positive result doon sa kanilang mga request because precisely walang batas na umiiral with regards to their request. Yun yung gusto kong i-point out sa'yo. So, would you agree with me na yun yung inyong pamantayan kaya hindi nyo pinagbibigyan ng request nila? Tama, mali? Tama, mali?
Mr. Chair, if I may provide context to the answer.
Yeah, you can okay. Bigyan mo sa akin konteksto. I just want to hear if it's right or wrong na kaya hindi nyo binibigyan ng kasagutan yung kanilang request because ang konteksto nyo, yung explanation mo is within that context. Explain it to me after you answer yes or no.
Mr. Chair, especially during election period, marami po kaming natanggap na escalations galing sa DICT, CICC, at COMELEC. Marami pong mga escalations ang na-actionan ni Google. Dahil po, nung inassess po namin, either violative ng community guidelines or even violative of the election regulations. So, hindi po totoo na walang aksyon. Marami po kaming na-actionan, especially during the election period. Pwede po nating itanong yan kay COMELEC dahil we have been working closely po with them. Pero hindi po lahat ng escalations ay maaaring ma-actionan. Dahil nga po, as you mentioned, meron po tayo mga content na hindi naman po siya violative ng community guidelines. Meron din po mga content na while it is wrong or misleading, ay wala pong sufficient basis para po tanggalin. So, to address your answer, sir, we closely coordinate with the government agencies. We closely work with them, and some of the escalated content have been actioned upon.
So in other words, ano pa rin talagang bumabaksak pa rin dun sa kanilang self-regulation, not in consonant with the regulation of the PCO and the DICT. That's a problem, no? Nagbabanggaan. They acted, some of it, but others, hindi. But, yun na nga, iba yung self-regulation nila, iba rin yung sa atin. So, we have to set talaga yung parameters with regard to the, ano yung talaga yung dapat na bawal. Ma'am,